in my favor. But what example are we showing the world as a country? That in the process of very important exercise, the commission is divided. Nobody knows whom to believe up to today. It is a shame on us. And we are sure that we have got men and women here in this country who can actually do a better job. And that will help to unify this country. Last year, we lost 75 precious lives. This year we lost another over 40 lives. To say nothing about those who have been wounded, who have been hurt. We must prevent this from happening in our country. We should not allow this to continue happening cyclically. Let us find a lasting solution to this problem. We are ready to engage so that we find a solution to this problem. As Azimio of Kenya. With those many remarks, Your Excellency, now may I have the pleasure to invite my brother, President William Ruto, to address you. Thank you.
I think before I make just all before I make some remarks, I have listened very carefully to the leaders who have spoken, and each one of them has spoken passionately about the future of our country, as it should be. But let me ask my deputy to make a few remarks so that I can conclude. Mr. Deputy President.
Your Excellency, our President, Dr. William Ruto, Your Excellency, the former Prime Minister, Your Excellency, the former Vice President, the leadership of our two houses, members of the executive, and the press. Your Excellency, this is a great morning for this country because the constitution of the IBC is a great step for our democracy. I want to thank you for the leadership that you have accorded this country in difficult times, and you are acceding to have the report that was bipartisan is a great step in the right direction in this country. In the situation we are in, we want to call upon the people of Kenya that violence begets violence. Now that the President has accepted to have a discussion with our young population, with our leaders, we call upon the people of Kenya to give dialogue a chance, to give consultation a chance, get off the streets, stay away from destruction of property, because Kenya is greater than all of us. And I think, Your Excellency, you have the capacity to lead us in that direction, where there is consultation and all Kenyans are able to agree on the way forward. With those few remarks, it's my duty to ask Your Excellency to address the country. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy President. Your Excellencies, Mr. Vice President, former Prime Minister, former Vice President, the two speakers of our National Assembly and Senate, leaders of majority, fellow leaders present here. Welcome to this occasion. The National Dialogue Committee, established last year, resulted from the closing of ranks across the political divide to forge consensus on a number of priority national issues, including the reconstitution of the IEBC. Today's assent of the IEBC Amendment Bill therefore marks a significant step in the actualization of one of the recommendations of NADCO and testifies to our country's ability to navigate difficult, complex, and sometimes divisive issues that could undermine our national cohesion, undermine our stability and security if we leave it unattended. The signing of this bill paves way for the establishment of the selection panel for the appointment of IEBC commissioners. The IEBC remains a cornerstone of our democracy, responsible for overseeing regular elections at various levels, and on the overall, ensuring that our electoral cycle is managed transparently and administered in an impartial, neutral, efficient, accurate, and accountable manner. I concur with leaders who have said there must be professionalism and integrity as part of the cardinal principles of the men and women who will be charged with the responsibility of overseeing our elections. The spirit of NADCO is the spirit of unity, bipartisanship, and consensus building, values which have helped our nation overcome its most challenging moments. Even as I assent to this bill, I look forward to supporting and facilitating any other outputs of the national consensus that was NADCO to ensure that Kenya moves forward and with as many hands on deck as is possible. The leadership of Parliament, both on the majority and minority sides, have heard what the leaders here have said, and they should proceed with dispatch and expedite the other recommendations that are contained in the NADCO report and process the necessary bills and interventions that are necessary for us to actualize the output of that report. Beyond NADCO, we are currently engaged in discussions as a country about our economy. As we know, the country has faced a series of economic shocks, including COVID-19 pandemic, globally high interest rates, and devastating droughts and floods, events which have impacted negatively on our economy and our capacity to secure resources for development and to also meet our debt service obligations. In the last 2 years, we have put in our best efforts to mobilize domestic and external resources to accelerate our economic program, pull the country back from the danger of debt distress, and set us on a path of economic transformation. These efforts have strengthened the Kenya shilling, reduced fuel prices at the pump, and lowered the cost of living, including the cost of essential household commodities. This year, my administration presented revenue-raising measures through the Finance Bill 2024, which were aimed at not only consolidating the economic recovery program, but also propelling the country to the next phase of investing in key social and economic infrastructure projects to advance our development agenda and reduce on our debt burden. However, many voices expressed disapproval of these proposals, leading me to drop the bill and terminate the process. It therefore means that apart from the people of Kenya asking us to consider alternative means of raising revenue, which I agree with, there is general consensus that the country requires to confront and address long-standing priority national issues, including national debt, public expenditure, and anti-corruption measures, so as to release resources for creating opportunities, creating jobs, and creating wealth. As a way of charting the future from the current situation we are facing, I welcome all the leaders here, and I have heard what they have said this morning, and all other stakeholders, working together for us to address the current economic situation through a broad-based political arrangement and to rally the country forward, as has been said by the former Prime Minister. And therefore,